Okay, we're live. We're live for the first time. So let's try this. How do we respond to what's going on in the world at the moment? So I just want to talk a little bit about that. I want to read from Exodus chapter 7, verses 8 to 13. It says this: Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, Show a miracle for yourselves, then you shall say to Aaron, Take your rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and let it become a serpent. So Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh, and they did so just as the Lord commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. But Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers, so the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. For every man threw down his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. And Pharaoh's heart grew hard, and he did not heed them, as the Lord said. So at the moment, there's so much happening in the world, and it's like there's all these serpents just being released in the earth, so to speak, because there are two kingdoms. There's the kingdom of darkness and God's kingdom, or the kingdom of God. And never before has the kingdom of darkness trying to manifest itself in the natural realm. But we have a picture of this, I believe, in Exodus 7 here, where you've got Pharaoh, which is a symbol or a type of the kingdom of darkness. And he throws down his serpents. And today we've got lots of serpents being thrown out. And it's so easy for believers to be disheartened and to look at this and say, well, this is pretty overwhelming. This is disappointing. This is discouraging. But the thing is this, that Aaron's serpent swallowed up all the other serpents. And I think that in this hour, the church needs to just be patient and wait for God to speak and then do his thing. What we're seeing right now is not the end game. God knows all about it. It hasn't taken him by surprise. So with Pharaoh, he had a sense of his own divinity. He had a sense of his own glory. And that's what's happening with these niches that's happening all around the earth at the moment. There's niches of isms and interest groups and powers that have the sense of their own glory. They have this sense of their own deity. And I believe, church, we need to just be patient, because God's serpent will overcome all that. God's serpent will swallow up the serpents of Pharaoh, so to speak. So it's not a time to panic. It's a time to draw near to God. It's a time to know God. It's a time to rest in him and hear his voice and get your strength. And it's like at the moment, you might remember the children of Israel were commanded by God to circle Jericho. And for 6 days, they were told to be silent. Then on the seventh day, God said, blow the trumpet. And then the walls came down. It's like at the moment, we're just being told to be quiet. We're just circling Jericho. And God is not saying to the church yet, blow your trumpet, do your thing. God is just saying, draw near to me Be patient. And yes, the serpents are being manifested in different parts of the earth with different niches, different isms, in various bodies, in various thoughts. Especially today, there's voices everywhere. There's so much white noise. And God's just saying to the church, just draw near to me, get to hear my voice, renew your strength, know who you are, know who I am. And a day will come when God will say to the church, now blow your trumpet, now speak out. Have you noticed there's not many prophets, there's no prophets telling the church or instructing the church how we are to respond right now? That's because God is not speaking. Sure, he's speaking individual things to individual people and churches. I'm talking about a worldwide thing at the moment. So be encouraged that Aaron's serpent swallowed up Pharaoh's serpent. Interesting, Aaron was a priest, and we need to be a priest inwardly so we can be a prophet outwardly. The way we're going to speak and blow our trumpet is that first we are a people that have prayed, worshipped, interceded for our nations. We've continued our intercession and so on. And as the church becomes this priest inwardly, then there will be a time to be that prophet outwardly, and we will speak the word of the Lord. And God will, God's rod, Aaron's rod, will swallow up the many serpents. Interesting, it was one serpent swallowed up the many. So in the world, you've got all these different voices and power groups. But it is one God that will swallow that up, one body, one church that will speak the voice of God into this situation. So church, be encouraged. Don't be discouraged. Don't be despondent, because God knows exactly what's happening. We just got to be patient. Be patient, draw near to God, and wait